One of the greatest things about music as an art form is that it's open to interpretation. This is one of the reasons why many songs become as popular as they do. Songs dealing with the many facets of love, for example happiness, heartbreak, resentment, often have very general lyrics, filled with sweeping statements that are applicable to many. But that doesn't mean that listeners can't be wrong, or that songwriters don't have very specific intentions. Once a song is released and the public has collectively decided on its meaning, it's practically impossible to correct the damage, and sometimes musicians are purposefully vague, withholding context until many years later. What this means then is that there are a bunch of extremely notable tracks out there with completely misunderstood meanings. From cheery sounding songs that are actually heart-wrenching laments, to one of the most famous power ballads in the world actually being about vampires. I'm Will for What Culture, and here are 10 songs with meanings that are completely misunderstood. 10. John Lennon's Imagine is, quote, virtually the Communist Manifesto. John Lennon's Imagine is one of those songs that crops up everywhere. It's a fantastic piece of music, cherished in a world of endless conflict for imagining a future in which none of the things that tear humanity apart exist. But Imagine isn't just the free-spirited, idyllic anthem that everyone thinks it is. According to Lennon himself, the song is, quote, virtually the Communist Manifesto, and because the song is sugar-coated, it's accepted. Though Lennon was quick to distance himself from the party, saying he's not particularly a communist, he did note that sweetening up a message, regardless of what it actually is the most effective way to have it championed, even, it seems, communist ideals. 9. Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart is about vampires. When it comes to ballads, Total Eclipse of the Heart is one of the most famous in the world, managing to sustain relevancy and popularity for over 3 decades since its release in 1983. It was written by longtime Meat Loaf collaborator Jim Steinman and has sold more than 6 million copies worldwide. While most people think it's nothing more than a rather melancholy love song about loneliness and insecurity, the truth is actually very different. In 2002, while promoting his Broadway musical Dance of the Vampires, Steinman stated in an interview that the song is actually, quote, a vampire love song, and its original title was, quote, Vampires in Love. Steinman claims he was working on a musical of Nosferatu when he wrote it, and that the lyrics are actually being sung by a vampire, which, credit where credit's due, does change your perspective on the whole thing. 8. Queen's Somebody to Love isn't about the search for a romantic partner. Well, it's not really about that anyway. Though it's undeniably about trying to find love, the central meaning of the song is incredibly commonly misinterpreted. Throughout the song, the narrator lists all of their redeeming qualities, like the fact that they work hard every day of their life, they work until their bones ache, and that they take home all of their hard-earned pay. Nevertheless, they just can't get no relief. But the repeated lyric, can anybody find me somebody to love, isn't asking for someone to find the narrator a partner. In actuality, it's wondering whether or not anyone could ever deem him deserving of love. In essence, it's, can anybody consider me someone who is worth loving? 7. You Are My Sunshine is not a cheery love song. The authorship of the traditional country song You Are My Sunshine is still hotly debated. But regardless of who actually wrote it, You Are My Sunshine has been covered so many times that it's regarded as one of the most commercially programmed songs in American popular music. Notable covers include Johnny Cash, Nat King Cole, Tina Turner, Brian Wilson, and Miley Cyrus. As for the meaning of the song, it is frequently misunderstood. This is generally owing to the fact that most people only know the lyrics to the chorus, which begin, You are my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are grey. But lines in later verses like, I dreamt I held you in my arms, when I awoke dear I was mistaken, so I hung my head and I cried, provide the tune a much grimmer reality. The singer is literally begging their partner not to leave them, despite the fact they clearly no longer feel the same way. 6. There She Goes by Sixpence None the Richer is about heroin addiction. Though it was actually written by English rock band The La's, There She Goes was made popular by Sixpence None the Richer. Released in 1999, their cover was one of the last massive hits of the 90s. Though the lyrics appear to deal a narrator who is madly in love with a woman, the song is actually about crippling heroin addiction and the fleeting nature of its high. The key lyrics that make this apparent are, quote, "There she goes pulsing through my veins, and I just can't contain the feeling that remains." But the sweet vocal delivery and upbeat tune have obscured the meaning to many for almost 2 decades since the tune's release. 5. The Cure's Killing an Arab does not promote racism. It doesn't take a genius to work out how this song has been misappropriated over the years. Appearing on The Cure's first US album, Boys Don't Cry, in 1980, Killing an Arab has been seen as promoting violence against Arabs and inciting general racism. But what's missing is the context. Killing an Arab is actually about the novel The Stranger, in which the narrator, just like in the song, does in fact kill an Arab on a beach, and is thereafter considered a stranger for refusing to lie about what happened. According to Robert Smith, he simply tried to detail his impressions of the novel's key scene through song, and the beach is even featured in the music video. Since its release, the song has gone through several title changes, including Kissing an Arab and Killing Another, but has since been performed live as Killing an Arab again. 4. Green Day's Time of Your Life is not romantic. It may seem difficult to believe, but Green Day's 1997 Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, from the album Nimrod, is frequently misinterpreted. In fact, the song, which has sold millions of copies in recent years since its release, has become a massive hit at prom dances, with many graduating seniors interpreting the lyrics as a nostalgic musing on the high school experience. This misinterpretation is so widespread, in fact, that Billy Joe Armstrong himself has weighed in, claiming that he slightly enjoys the fact that he's often misunderstood. Nevertheless, the song is actually an extremely bitter breakup song. It's not uncommon for people to mistakenly think that the track is simply called Time of Your Life. But that's just the bit in brackets. The primary title is, after all, Good Riddance, which is much more fitting with the lyrics. Good Riddance was written out of frustration that Armstrong's then-girlfriend was moving to Ecuador. Throughout the song, the narrator laments the loss of his love. "I hope you had the time of your life." But it isn't so much sincere as it is tinged with resentment. 3. Every Breath You Take by The Police isn't about love or stalking. The Police's Every Breath You Take is probably the most commonly cited example of how a song has a misunderstood meaning. For everyone blissfully ignorant of how creepy its lyrics are, there's 24 people waiting to leap in and explain that the song is actually about Sting stalking his ex-wife. Sadly, those people are completely incorrect as well. According to the man himself, Every Breath You Take was written in the Caribbean. Sting woke up in the middle of the night with the line, "Every breath you take, every move you make," in his head, and finished writing it in about half an hour. Here's where it gets interesting though. Sting actually claims that he was thinking about Big Brother while writing it, and that the intention was for it to depict a totalitarian surveillance state, in which all of society is observed 24/7. 2. Madonna's Like a Virgin isn't about virginity or even a woman. Madonna's Like a Virgin remains, to this day, fundamentally misunderstood. This is likely because the song wasn't written by Madonna at all, but rather a man named Billy Steinberg. In an interview with LA Times, Steinberg explained that he never actually intended for a woman to sing the song, and that it was totally autobiographical. The song details his personal experiences over the years, and how one specific instance of falling in love made him feel totally raw and vulnerable, yet amazing, as if it was the first time he was ever experiencing love, much as a virgin might feel. So there you have it. It's not about the first time you bury the weasel, it's about a man falling in love. 1. The Lion Sleeps Tonight is about the inevitable resurrection of a warrior king. When it comes to totally innocuous songs, The Lion Sleeps Tonight by The Tokens is pretty far up there. Known also by Wimbaway, and Ah Wimbaway, the song has been covered many times over the years and has become a notable part of pop culture, mainly because it is ridiculously catchy. But what is it actually about? Ask most people and they'll probably say something like, lions being asleep? In actuality, it's about Shaka Zulu. Shaka, also known as Shaka the Lion, was one of the most influential monarchs of the Zulu kingdom who fought against European colonizers. Apparently, Shaka is the lion mentioned in the song, and references to his sleeping are merely another way of saying he isn't truly dead, but will one day rise up and free his oppressed people, which is a fittingly badass backstory for such an undeniably awesome piece of music. And there you have it, folks, 10 songs with meanings that are completely misunderstood. Feel free to drop a comment down below correcting any musical misconceptions that grind your gears. Also, remember to drop this video a like and subscribe, and boogie on over to whatculture.com for daily news, lists, articles, quizzes, and all that other funky internet stuff. I'm Will for What Culture, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.